Good evening, this is the main news on Camnet TV today, Thursday, the 14th of September 2023. Here are the top stories making headlines in our news tonight. Police arrest 2 people in MUMBWA district in connection with ritual killings. LUSAKA residents unhappy with the 60 days of rational water supply. Government challenged to address inconsistencies in the agricultural sector. And in international news, nearly 7,000 migrants arrive on Italy's southern island of LAMPEDUSA within 24 hours. And in sports news, Zambia keen to defend the African Pool Championship in South Africa.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. RainGlow, your smart irrigation partner.
With the news in detail, my name is Sylvia Zulu. In local news, some residents of Lusaka's Kanyama industrial area have explained over frequent power cuts being experienced. Speaking in an interview with Camnet News, the residents say the area is experiencing power outages of up to 8 hours without notice from ZESCO. One of the affected residents, Crispin Mobela, who is a welder, tells Camnet News his business is affected due to the power outages. ZESCO Managing Director Victor Mapani in February 2023 announced the end of load shedding, attributing the development to rising water levels in Lake Kariba and increased power generation output.
Some residents in Lusaka's Kanyama constituents bordering the industrial area have complained of constant power cuts in recent weeks. Earlier this year, ZESCO announced an end to load shedding, but here residents say it seems not to be the case. The affected residents have told Camnet News that power cuts targeting the area are unannounced by the power utility company ZESCO.
Malaiti tuchita complain. Yamaenda maningi, area yamaenda maningi, but uku Spirio area ya nani Spirio meeting kukulima industry area kwevesi yaenda vienda pasogoro, but ise amene tusubira kuchabe kuti nikupika na kuyasha malaiti yaenda, so mafriji amankara mu problemu, mastove ma problemu, vinangu vintu vimaonongeka.
Engaged in a welding business, Crispin Mobela says power cuts being experienced are negatively affecting his business.
Tula sana near every day malaiti yalaya. Ero tabatu tumina kuna messages ukwa chama malaiti yalaya nangu yalaya senstanshi tatuishiba tulolera fye. So masoshia ile kuma 02 yaisabwela kuma following day kuma 17 to 18 hours. So batupose kwa manu please tuachula sana. Tatrekwanisho kubombe chitosho tukonfia na malaiti. So tatuisho pa malatu afwa bazesko. Tuafueniko please. So na ya malaiti. Tatuisho nshite ala isanga ala senstanshi turelolera fye.
Kwastima sana temo malaiti akanda 18 kwera kumazuru kusiendi futi ya yenu. Timbekeza kweti mangana kona makasipuma kweti. Wafuna malaiti mashuku vitu vyako vikingala kuvukosa.
Efforts to get a comment from ZESCO at broadcast time proved futile. With power being a catalyst of the economy at different levels, it is hoped that ZESCO will hit the cries of these people and address the challenge. For Camnet News, Hafias Kaptula, Lusaka.
Some Lusaka residents have advised the Lusaka Water Supply and Sanitation Company to rectify the problem at the Naboye leakage site, which government say will lead to reduced supply of water in some parts of Lusaka. One of the residents in Kanyama spoken to says the area already experiences erratic water supply and wonders what the case will be when the rationing of water supply is affected. But when contacted, Lusaka Water Supply and Sanitation Company Public Relations Manager Shamba Muzungu advised residents in the affected areas to make arrangements for water storage during this period. On Thursday, 14th September 2023, the LUSAKA Water Supply and Sanitation Company commenced repair works for the pipeline, which was commissioned in 1970, with engineers noticing a sound under the concrete in 2019.
For the next 60 days, some parts of LUSAKA district will experience reduced hours of water supply to about 12 hours on average to allow for repair works at Naboye leakage site. This disruption in water supply will affect areas like Chelston, Kamwala South, Kamwala, Matero, Chirenje, among others. Residents in some of the affected areas are unhappy with the development and want the LUSAKA Water Supply and Sanitation Company to find an alternative solution, as their daily lives will be negatively affected.
Timanzi yavuta era maje tizankala bwanje timanzi niyo vuta na kudala era kwa meti yenda kumanzi yavuta so stumo tizankalira tu wesi manje kai tizavutirata
ndichoka ku school azivena ngotsuka na parents atuka na ambuya vatu choka ku school mati batanzeko walema choka ku school bowashi mbeni mevi atisi ukapeza kwa kutapita kwa manzi chimanga ko easy pambo tusha futi manzi choka kuno pali distance kwendofika pakake every day 6 hours ku school zanje ntauba kungana 7:30
pao tatiganzireko ndiye pempo yatu chabe yevantako ndafa oko ikankafika ntao ya Oktoba kwinangu yamachoka kwambiri manzi timatapaka manje apa yankhala munga ni supplies kulizi peza tituka huko peza kulibe manzi kupompi apa tizisa weni nishamba kudala kuvuta manzi so apa taziwa manzi kuti 60 days bazambo vuta manzi but already ativuta so stizi October but tinga survive tiza kwanisa.
When contacted for a comment, LUSAKA Water Supply and Sanitation Company Public Relations Manager Nshamba Mzungu only advised residents in the affected areas to make arrangements for water storage during this period.
This is not going to affect the entire city of LUSAKA. The areas which will be affected are those areas which will receive directly from the Kachue transmission line. During this time, what is important is that they need to invest in storage facilities so that when the water is available at a particular time, they store enough water to see them throughout the day, and probably also to see them, the following day.
The water utility company says it is losing about 10 million cubic liters of water per day. The pipeline, also known as Yolanda 1, which was commissioned in 1970, will finally be worked on years after engineers noticed a sound under the concrete in 2019, but seemingly were unconcerned. Vincent Piri for Camnet TV News, LUSAKA.
Police in MUMBWA district of Central Province have arrested 2 people in connection with the suspected murder of 2 community members last week, which has sparked riots in the district. Home Affairs Minister Jack Mwimbu told a press conference in Lusaka Thursday that the 2 victims were murdered in what is suspected to be a ritual killing and that their missing body parts are being kept in a fridge at an unknown location. Mr. Mwimbu has, however, condemned the killing of 2 businessmen by aggrieved community members who have also resolved to destroy public properties. The minister says community members should desist from mob justice and has advised anyone with information on the ritual killing to visit the police and present their evidence so that the perpetrators can be brought to book. Let's get the details in this report.
Known as a land rich in gold, MUMBWA district in Central Province of Zambia has now turned into a bloodbath following the death of 4 MUMBWA residents, 2 killed in suspected ritual, while the 2 have been killed by a mob that pounced on them on suspicion that they are behind the murder of the 2 earlier victims. The protest in the district has not ended in the death of the 2 prominent businessmen, but the destruction of properties as well.
What happened was quite unfortunate. There was a big mob and I think the police was trying to disperse this mob. Somehow, I don't know what confusion was there, the mob thought the police were hiding in our building. So they charged towards this building, they were throwing stones.
The residents have also destroyed properties belonging to the 2 businessmen who have been murdered by the mob. leaders are however not happy about the development and have appealed to the community to desist from engaging in mob justice.
MUMBWA ni yatu tonse banangu wanabatula mu MUMBWA bakalambira mu MUMBWA tifuna tuone mtendere wameletazo kukala nao kutoka kutiyambi mao yamenza kambaze oli ya kansera ni yakutitaona response amene mwaka ya maonesa kulise ni chintu chikuru chameteka kuyanga napo maito tipemba kwa imwe mtendere.
Meanwhile, Home Affairs and Internal Securities Minister Jack Mwimbu, who addressed the press in Lusaka shortly after visiting the district, says 2 people have been arrested in connection with the ritual killing of the 2 residents whose body parts were found missing.
The other gentleman who was killed is very disturbing. Joseph Miata, where body parts were removed. It's purported that those body parts were deposited in a fridge somewhere for use for whatever purpose. I understand the feelings of the people there.
The minister has since appealed to the residents to desist from engaging in mob justice, but report to his office any information that will lead to the arrest of people involved in the ritual killings.
Anyone to start destroying public property. Public property belongs to the people of MUMBWA. Like I did indicate earlier, the burning down of veterinary services buildings in MUMBWA will affect the people of MUMBWA seriously.
Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
ByZ founder Ivan Singoma has urged members of the public to embrace working in groups such as cooperatives, as it is an easy way of harnessing resources and skills. Since its ascendance into government, the United Party of National Development (UPND) administration has encouraged the formation of cooperatives in order to empower citizens. Speaking in an interview with Camnet News, Mr. Ngoma stressed that several developed countries improved the lives of citizens using the cooperatives model, and Livestock Investment Cooperative Society of Kanyama constituency board member Enoch Mkelewai says working in a group has helped him and his colleague access funding.
A cooperative board member based in Lusaka has underscored the importance of citizens coming together to work using the cooperative model. Livestock Investment Cooperative Society of Lusaka's Kanyama constituency board member Enoch Mkelewai says working in a cooperative helps to harness capital and skills among other resources.
Because there are things like us in the community which we cannot do individually. If it was an individual in this cooperative, it wouldn't have stood. But seeing the power and the initiatives that the people that came together put in, it has seen it to grow up to this much because of people. This one brought that this amount of money, the other one brought 1,000, the other one brought 500. We put it together to see this thing to function.
Mr. Mkelewai has disclosed that working in the group has also enabled him and his colleagues to access 25,000 kwacha under the Constituency Development Fund CDF, which was used as a contribution in purchasing machines.
So we have 2 bandsaw machines. The CDF gave us 25,000. Then we had to top up to acquire these 2 bandsaw machines. These are the ones we have seen in our warehouse, whereby they are working every day, and we are really benefiting. Though, as you can see, this thing is big, and our vision is big. These two machines, okay, they are pushing us, but not to the maximum.
Meanwhile, ByZ campaign founder Evan Singoma has urged citizens to embrace the cooperative model, as it is a proven method for socio-economic development in other developed countries.
I'd like to promote, to encourage the people to work in unison, to work in groups, to form cooperatives which have proven to be a more solid way of sustaining business.
For Camnet News, Afias Kaptula, Lusaka.
The Lusaka High Court has ruled that terrorism accused Given Piri and Marlon Banda gave confession statements amidst harassment from police officers, delivering ruling in a trial within trial in the case where former President Edgar Lungu's political advisor Chris Zumanizimba is jointly charged with Given Piri 37, Marlon Banda 36, both businessmen, and Potiphar Gwai 44, a male nurse, who are facing charges of possessing and procuring terrorism articles alleged to have been used in orchestrating gassing incidents in 2020. Judge Corinne Mwenda found that the police forced the two accused persons to confess. In their confession statements, the two accused, Marlon Banda and Given Piri, testified that police pointed guns at them during apprehension in February 2020.
Lusaka High Court Judge Corinne Mwenda has passed a ruling in the trial within trial for the case where former President Edgar Lungu's political advisor Chris Zumanizimba is jointly charged with Given Piri 37, Marlon Banda 36, both businessmen, and Potiphar Gwai 44, a male nurse, who are facing charges of possessing and procuring terrorism articles alleged to have been used in orchestrating gassing incidents in 2020. In her ruling, Justice Mwenda rules that at the time of apprehension in Petauke, terrorism accused Given Piri and Marlon Banda unwillingly gave confession statements to police amidst harassment, as this was consistently observed in the statements of the accused when they testified that during their apprehension, police officers pointed guns and handcuffed them to Petauke. On 12 September 2023, during trial, an Assistant Commissioner of Police, Kenneth Nkua, informed the court that he recorded a verbal statement from Given Piri and Marlon Banda. Mr. Nkua informed the court that the duo told him that Dr. Zimba had given them some suspected chemicals, but the defense team objected to this testimony before the court ruled that the matter go into a trial within a trial to ascertain the voluntariness of the alleged statement the accused gave to the police. When the case resumed for trial within trial, accused Piri told the court that during the time of detention, he was allegedly beaten and accused of being a gasser, a testimony Officer Nkua dismissed, but the accused maintained that he was beaten and could not gas people in Petauke because he comes from there. But delivering a ruling this morning, Judge Mwenda ruled that the administration of a warn and caution statement verbally raised suspicions, as Officer Nkua also changed his statement that no guns were pointed at the suspect because he was not around during apprehension. Justice Mwenda wonders how the two accused, who were treated as suspects the whole time, could have been treated like angels. In her ruling, the court states the differences in the statement made by the state witness are questionable in the manner the two accused are alleged to have been transported. Justice Mwenda concludes that the police at the point of apprehension, police harassed the accused. They were transferred in handcuffs, and it was challenging to decide because the warn and caution was verbal. As such, the accused failed to understand the nature of the case because the officers did not know the case the suspects were facing. This is a case of former President Edgar Lungu's political advisor Chris Zumanizimba, and 3 others are facing 3 counts of being in possession of terrorism articles, procuring terrorism articles, and aiding terrorism acts. Judge Mwenda has since expunged the testimony of Officer Nkua from the court record. The main trial in this matter continues tomorrow, 15 September 2023. Nelson Zulu for Camnet News, Lusaka.
In other news, the case in which former Patriotic Front PF General Secretary Davis Mwila is jointly charged with Lusaka-based lawyer Anna Mwitwa in connection with possession of 102,600,000 kwacha suspected to be proceeds of crime has failed to take off as state prosecutors were attending to a matter in a higher court. In the first count, Mwila and Mwitwa, a former permanent secretary at Cabinet Office, are accused of possession of property suspected to be proceeds of crime. Allegations are that between January 1st and August 31st, 2021, in Lusaka, the duo, jointly and while acting together with other unknown persons, did possess 102,600,000 kwacha, property reasonably suspected of being proceeds of crime. In the second count, the lawyer is accused of failure to report suspicious transactions, which is contrary to Section 45 of the Financial Intelligence Act No. 46 of 2010 of the laws of Zambia. Chief Resident Magistrate Davis Chimbwili has adjourned the matter to October 9th and 23rd and 25th, 2023. In other news, former Woodlands A Primary School pupils have pledged to give a facelift to the general appearance of the school, which has existed for more than 60 years. Speaking when they made a donation of a water tank at the school on Thursday, former pupil Chisha Manakatwe said that even though the economy has become hard, it is important to continue supporting the school that has helped shape their lives. Mr. Mwanakatwe says most of the sports facilities were at the school and the vegetation is no longer available, hence the need to revamp the school. Meanwhile, a pupil, Ivan Banda, says water is a very important commodity that helps keep most learners in school and thanks the alumni for supporting the water system at the school.
Some former pupils at Woodlands A Primary School in Lusaka, among them prominent businessman Chisha Mwanakatwe, Gwini Ngoma, Kawecha Kaunda, the son to the former first president, and others, have pledged to help lift the face of their former school, which they say has contributed to shaping their lives. The alumni, who donated a water tank and a wheelchair for one of the disabled pupils at the school, say so much has changed from their former school and that there is need for many other former pupils to work together in transforming the face of an institution which has been operating for more than 60 years.
So I'm hoping that, as the numbers grow, even our capacity to assist the school can grow. For me personally, I would like to see particularly the outlook. I'm just speaking for myself. I think sometimes when we drive past the school, we really hope that even just, impressions count. I really hope, speaking through the organizing committee, that maybe we can give some attention to the outlook of the school and help it regain some of that beauty which we used to see. I know these times are difficult, but as I said, within whatever we are able to do, we offer ourselves to give service to this school, which also gave so much of itself to us.
School head teacher Harold Tonga says water has remained a challenge at the school and has thanked the alumni for remembering their roots and pledging to continue supporting the school infrastructure.
This donation of the tank and the wheelchair will go a long way, and we want to say that we are going to take care of these facilities. And we know that we had challenges of water, but with the tank that has come, we hope that our surrounding will become green.
And one of the pupils, Ivan Banda, has emphasized the importance of water at the school.
I am here to sincerely thank the former Woodlands A school pupils for the great work they have done to this school today. They have given to the school the water tank and the wheelchairs. On behalf of the pupils here at this school, I would like to put it plainly and say that you have truly given us life because you have given us water. Water is indeed life.
Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
It is the winter when the weather is cold.
Some motorists in Lusaka are concerned with the perceived lawlessness among motorcyclists on the road. One of the motorists, Innocent Changwe, says motorcyclists are too careless on the road, leading to accidents. They have since called on the Road Transport and Safety Agency, RATSA, to take interest in the adherence to road rules if lives are to be saved.
Reports of accidents involving motorists emanate almost every day in the country. The latest one is that of a 41-year-old deputy head teacher of Chansefu district in Eastern Province who has died after he was involved in a road traffic accident involving a motorcycle. Motorists in Lusaka are concerned with the alarming reports which they attribute to negligence by motorcyclists.
That's why my accident sasira kuba maoni. Wina nguswapa bachoko mupunga. State imbekeze marobot ya pasaka achumpa kwa kumana na motoka. Maona yonse ni accident so amaonda tupempa kuba kulakisa bangabala ngane kuti bakazenza ko muna munche maonda.
Abamaonda sitiona obwino chifojo ti bamaonda tupakamba kutienda mulodi bamatingenera maningi. Pesika kuti sometimes amkonga maruzi zapesika kuti vamaimirira pamene sipafunika kuimirira ungapesika kuti wamubunga olunga muchite viri vonse so vija simawama mafunika waonepo bwino kuti tizambosevenza nawo bwanja abantu vamaonda
okuside wanga simbiona pangira kuti lamulo yakuti wazikwanisa na vazipita wamamema mapita wantu pedestrian notikuti wasensa mamenos kosi maja vantu somaziganizira ni riski pae kapoenza onda yote ulipanja then wa moto kalimkati uzama koneka time iliyonse wafuna vaimilira pali ponse ndapa chero mkonkana so pamene apo pasa indicator yao akonekerao.
Meanwhile, Road Transport and Safety Agency RTSA acting head public relations Mukera Mangolwa says the agency is putting in place measures to utilize the technology to reduce lawlessness on the road.
As you are aware now, we are areas where we don't have a presence and mostly depend on the Zambia police. So with the new strategy we are looking at, we should find a way of being able to cover these areas. We are considering leveraging on technology, enhancing enforcement, as well as enhancing road safety education and publicity.
Vincent Piri for Camnet TV News, Lusaka.
The Road Transport and Safety Agency, RATSA, has reminded all motorists to be extra conscious on the road and adhere to all road traffic rules and regulations to avoid accidents. Commenting in the wake of Lusaka's Ibex Hill accident, which claimed 4 lives, including 3 pupils on Wednesday, RATSA acting head public relations Mukela Mangolwa has urged members of the public to continue reporting all bad, careless and dangerous drivers to the agency using its toll-free line. Mr. Mangolwa adds that the agency is saddened by the death of the 4 pedestrians in the accidents. He says preliminary investigations indicates that the accident happened after a motorist lost control of his motor vehicle due to suspected excessive speed and hit 5 pedestrians who were on the walkway. Mr. Mangolwa has since conveyed a message of condolences to the bereaved families and wished the injured a quick recovery. You are watching the main news on Camnet TV. We now take our first set of commercials. Do join me with more news after the break.
From time immemorial, we have had different types of lighting options, from those that can burn down our investments in minutes to those that dig holes in our pockets due to constant replacement and huge consumption of our ZESCO units. Savenda Electric introduces the new and advanced electric bulb with cutting-edge technology of LED that has low power consumption, gives out bright white light, and lasts up to 25,000 hours. Savenda Electric manufactures all types of LED light like plastic LED fluorescent tubes, down lights, ceiling lights, outdoor fittings, and solar street lights made to customer specifications. Let's live on the bright side of life by choosing the wide range of Savenda electric lighting solutions that are available in all leading stores and supermarkets countrywide. For orders, call 0962-642-490 or email jnbunda@savenda.com or pchabula@savenda.com.
Deborah, have you connected to the Wi-Fi on the bus? It's fast, it's amazing. I've just downloaded my books and I'm about to complete the series. It's nice, too, me.
No, I'm actually watching a reality show. He's about to propose. Oh, so sweet.
Make your trip seem short yet comfortable and safe when you use the UBZ luxurious fully air-conditioned coaches that come fitted with amazing onboard entertainment, passenger information services, coffee-making facilities and fridge for your hot and cold beverages, free and interrupted Wi-Fi for your gadgets, phone charging facilities, comfortable seats that recline to offer extra resting posture, safety seat belts, adjustable reading lights for each traveling client, and of course, clean flushing toilets for your convenience. So travel in luxury and safety with UBZ luxurious coaches. UBZ will always take you there.
Get all the latest updates in court news only on Camnet TV. We take you and make you feel part of the court sessions through our in-depth coverage of the adjudication process. Get informed on those who have been arrested, delayed and denied the police bond or bail victims, persons taking plea, court adjournments, verdicts, and those administration issues in the judiciary. Camnet TV is on channel 274 on DSTV, channel 25 on GoTV, and find us on channel 106 on Topstar. You can also follow and give us a like on our social media platforms. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Thank you for staying with us. We'll now continue with the rest of the news. A researcher and agricultural expert has challenged the government to use the 2024 national budget to revamp the agricultural sector. Dr. Oliver Bulaya says the sector has been characterized by inconsistencies which he says are yet to be presented. A national budget must address, adding that the government must consider employing more extension officers to reduce the officer-farmer ratio. On Friday, 29th September 2023, Minister of Finance and National Planning, Stumbeko Msokotwane, is expected to present the proposed 2024 estimates of revenue and expenditure before the National Assembly.
Minister of Finance and National Planning, Situmbeko Msokotwane, is on Friday, 29th September 2023, expected to present the proposed 2024 national budget before the National Assembly. Stakeholders are expectant that the budget for the 2024 financial year will address loopholes seen in the 2023 national budget. Dr. Oliver Bulaya is a researcher and agriculture expert who feels the next year's budget must address the inconsistencies in the agriculture sector.
We have quite a number of expectations, from the 2024 budget, and I tend to think, this is what, will show us where we are going in terms of, the government pronouncements of revamping the sector. The agricultural sector, as you aware, hasn't performed, to the expectations of many stakeholders in the agricultural sector. We haven't seen outright, policies, from the New Dawn government working towards the revamping the sector. We have witnessed a lot of inconsistencies, that are detrimental, to the sector.
The agriculture sector, despite its impact on the country's economy, still lags behind in infrastructure, and Dr. Bulaya wants this addressed in the next financial year.
Announced in terms of recruitment of the 800, extension officers. If these are recruited, well and good. But what of transport? Has the transport been, provided? Because this was budgeted for. Look at the e-platforms, the tablets that were meant, for the extension experts. Are all these things in place? Because we are getting into another year. So we expect these things to be in place so that even as we plan for the next year, it will be on another level. Let's look at the renovation of the agricultural experts in terms of accommodation for the extension experts who are scattered all over in the rural areas. Has this been attended to? Have we seen accommodation being refurbished, in the areas where extension officers are?
In recent years, the budget decreased from 172.9 billion kwacha in 2022 to 167.3 billion kwacha in 2023, and farmers await what the fate will be for this coming year. Vincent Piri for Camnet TV News, Lusaka.
135,336 farmers have so far been tagged to benefit from the Farmer Input Support Program FISIP in the Central Province. Central Province Permanent Secretary Muna Mwanakapwe confirmed the development in an interview in Kabwe yesterday. Mr. Mwanakapwe disclosed that the Central Province has 162,711 allocated beneficiaries and has so far tagged 135,326 farmers, translating into 83%.
With a registered farmer population of about 600,000, Central Province has this 2023-2024 farming season been allocated with 162,711 beneficiaries in the Farmer Input Support Program. The province is this year implementing the electronic voucher system. The Permanent Secretary now explains the strides made towards the implementation of the FISIP program.
Central Province has a total number of 596,037 farmers, out of which the total number of allocated farmers under FISIP is 162,711. Beneficiaries out of the 162, 135,326 successfully have been tagged and now are on the system. Following receipt of correspondence this week guiding the commencement of deposits and imminent wrap or completion of tagging, it is expected that deposits will begin in the next 2 weeks and farmers should be able to start collecting by mid-October.
The electronic voucher system allows farmers to benefit farming inputs of their choice, and this has elated some farmers in Kabwe district of Central Province. Kabwe District Agricultural Committee Chairperson Greenwell Kabaso is optimistic that the FISIP program will be implemented well this year.
Musango wakweba ati ama farmers bakasenda efyo balefwaya lero chikalamba chakweba ati ine program fine yayamba tulomba fe kubuteko bakuti bwangu ifinti filefwayikwa fyaisa. Then at the same time pamonga dark chairperson, I'm happy because the process have started.
Timely distribution of farming inputs remains a fundamental undertaking if household food security is to be actualized. Helen Whitty reporting from Kabwe, Central Province.
Still to come in the news, Zambia keen to defend the African Pool Championship in South Africa. Do join me with the details after the break. Don't go away.
Every Monday to Thursday afternoon, join us for the Lunchtime Cafe. We get to bring to you emerging stories making the headlines, media news, and we remind you of what political leaders and governance actors said back in the days. In forgotten stories, we emphasize to you the importance of eating healthy foods and leading healthy lifestyles on the Nutrition Corner. Get the latest updates in sports and critical interviews. Because we value your contribution to national matters, we accord you an opportunity to share your perspectives during the viewers' reactions. The Camnet TV Lunchtime Cafe is an all-inclusive buffet. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. RenGlow, your smart irrigation partner.
Thank you for still staying with us. And now in international news, a flotilla of flimsy boats crowded with migrants and launched from Tunisia overwhelmed a tiny southern Italian island on Wednesday, taxing the Coast Guard's capability to intercept the smugglers' vessels and tasting Premier Giorgia's Meloni's pledge to thwart illegal migration. Compounding the political pressure on Italy's first far-right leader were vows by France and Germany to revamp migrants who arrive by sea on Italian shores, and in defiance of European Union asylum system rules, head northward to try to find jobs or relatives in those and other northern countries on the continent. Starting early Tuesday, the unseaworthy and stable iron boats came one after the other in what appeared to be almost procession to onlookers and a fishing and tourist island south of Sicily. Some 6,800 migrants came in a span of just over 24 hours, a number that is a few hundred higher than the island's full-time population. Here's a roundup of international news.
Rescue teams begin to withdraw from Morocco and make way for humanitarian aid. In Asni, south of Marrakesh, there is one of the largest field hospitals from where the wounded are being cared for. About 500 people receive daily medical assistance, including many children traumatized by the earthquake. The ceiling of my room fell in. It was dark. I was calling my father and mother under the rubble. I could hear people calling to find me. I thought it was the end of the world. They managed to save me and my mother, but my little sister and my father died. They didn't tell me right away that he was dead. Some 530 schools have been destroyed or damaged. Classes have been suspended in the 42 most affected locations. In these cities and towns, rescue teams are trying to put smiles back on the faces of children traumatized by the disaster. I am afraid of another tremor, and I am worried about my mother. She was pregnant and the baby died. I am fine here. It's a bit like school. For children to continue with their lives, one of the main challenges the country faces will be the reconstruction of schools.
A tragic situation has been experienced in the Libyan city of Susa, located on the Mediterranean coast in the east of the country, as Storm Daniel left it submerged in rainwater, making it impossible to resume rescue work by land. The only mountain road linking Susa to the nearby town of Shahat was completely destroyed after it collapsed due to the floods. I am from Al-Fadiyya area, about 40 kilometers from Susa. We have had people missing in the valleys until now, and we do not know if they are alive or dead. In Al-Fadiyya, we lost 8 people, and on top of that, we're also worried about Dena. The city also suffered on Wednesday from a complete loss of electricity and communication. They should send bulldozers. The General Electricity Company must intervene. We have been without electricity since Saturday, about 5 days without electricity. The water company has not got involved. They have to come to fix the drain pipelines. God knows that the situation here is 0%. Although 3 days have passed since 2 dams collapsed during the storm, flooding the nearby areas. No governmental party has visited the city to see the extent of the tragedy and send rescue teams.
The story of some 6,800 migrants who arrived at the tiny southern Italian island of Lampedusa Wednesday in a span of just over 24 hours is sparking reactions from authorities. Starting early Tuesday, the unseaworthy, unstable iron boats came one after the other in what appeared to be almost a procession to onlookers on Lampedusa, a fishing and tourist island south of Sicily. The situation today on Lampedusa is that there are around 6,000 people in the hotspot who have arrived on the island on 120 different boats in the last 24 hours. Clearly, the situation is complex, and as the Italian Red Cross, we are continuing to guarantee, though with huge efforts, to provide basic services to the people we are helping. Provoking the surge in numbers was a bottleneck in Tunisia's ports of several days, caused by rough seas according to Italian authorities, with the island's sole migrant residents having a capacity of about 450 beds. Authorities scrambled to transfer the migrants via commercial ferries.
What's going on is that we had a big increase of the arrivals of migrants this summer. More than double of the last summer. We are more or less with the numbers we had in 2016, which was an exceptional year for arrivals and landings of migrants on the Italian shores. What seems to be a bit different is that now we do have a different government, more right-wing, more anti-migration.
According to Italy's Interior Ministry, over 120,000 migrants have arrived in Italy this year by sea.
And now in sports news, the Zambia Pool Union has called on the government and cooperating partners to come on board and sponsor the team to participate in the forthcoming African Championship to be held in South Africa. The total budget for the Zambian delegation to participate in the event is 1.6 million kwacha. Union Secretary General Tesfa Shinkombwe is confident that the government will support the team to participate in the Continental Championship as demonstrated in the recent past. He told a press conference in Lusaka Thursday that preparations for the tournament intensified. And Union patron Mike Mulabe told a press conference that they are banking on the government's resolve to give all sports disciplines equal support. During the same meeting, the team that will represent the country was unveiled.
The government is our biggest sponsor, so we're on course. We're on course. Obviously, we're very confident that come next month we'll actually have the 1.6 million kwacha that is required. So in terms of sponsorship, like Mr. Molawi said, we as a union obviously are not really concentrating alone on financial assistance. Our budget breakdown obviously has got a number of issues like air tickets, for example. There's upkeep for the players, which is very important because players have to be motivated. You cannot send players that far and just have them play for you and then come back empty-handed. There's jerseys as well. I'm wearing a Tech Masters jersey. This is the jersey that the national team wore in Morocco last year. So we'd like to appreciate Tech Masters as well as Pesca and Commando. Also for coming on board. So like the treasurer said, we are actually in talks, advanced talks actually with a number of companies that have shown interest.
I'm in Morocco, and now we are focusing to go to defend our Africa Cup, which will take place with South Africa next month. So basically we are asking for more sponsorship. We are going to
appealing to our cooperating partners, to our business houses to come on board and help us so that we participate next month, we defend our title. It goes with penalties if we don't participate as a country. So we shall be knocking on your doors very soon to ask for whatever help we can get from you. As the interim patron of this union, we shall work very hard with the executive here to try and knock on your doors through the Ministry of Sport and other cooperating partners.
That item brings us to the end of our main news bulletin, but before I go, let's take a look at the stories that are making headlines. Police arrest 2 people in MUMBWA district in connection with ritual killings. LUSAKA residents unhappy with the 60 days of rational water supply. And government challenged to address inconsistencies in the agriculture sector. In international news, nearly 7,000 migrants arrived on Italy's southern island of Lampedusa within 24 hours. And in sports news, Zambia keen to defend the African Pool Championship in South Africa. We now look at our Camnet verse of the day, coming from the book of Psalms 16, verse 11. You make known to me the path of life. You will fill me with joy in your presence, with eternal pleasures at your right hand. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Sylvia Zulu. Pleasant viewing.